In this session we're going to look at press setup. We put in basic information for our presses in the quick start wizard. In this section we get the opportunity to change what we put in there and to add in more settings. So we take the top option. This press is a 102, Speedmaster 102 5-color perfector. With perfectors, the system will set it up as two presses, one in straight mode and one in perfect mode, where it will always look to do two sides in one pass. So in this first option, where it's set up in straight mode, we will resist the temptation further down here to tick the perfector box. Once we do that, the system will always try and do two sides in one pass. So working our way down, we have the number of units the press has. That can go up to 12. We have the machine rate. If it has a coater, we can tick that box there. That means that any job that has seal on it will be done through the coating unit rather than through one of the printing units. And if we tick aqueous coating there, it will then default to the aqueous coating prices in the ink table. Minimum and maximum sheet sizes, minimum maximum weights, minimum maximum runs. If you want to set a minimum run cost for the work that you do, you can do that in this option here. If your press can print envelopes, there's an option to tick the box there, and then other options such as if the press is not suitable for coated papers, this will exclude coated papers from this press. No work and turn. If it works like a web press and it can do inline folding, you can tick that option there. And then there's an option to not include setup and waste sheets in the run. So if that's the case, then when it's calculating the runtime, it will just look at net sheets and will not include overs in its calculation. If for any reason you need to decommission your press, but you don't want to delete it, so if you tick internal quoting only, it will stop this press giving out prices to your buyers. Then at the bottom we have settings for grip and bleed. So the system will, by default, always put bleed on jobs, and it will add the bleed to the grip. So it's important to know that it's 15 millimeters to the first cut if you have 12 mil bleed and 12 mil grip and 3 mil bleed. Looking at other presses here, so the perfector will be set up in exactly the same way, except the perfector box will be ticked. If we go into a digital press, the settings are slightly different. The first few rows are the same. But then we get an option here as to the type of colours that we can print. So we say we can print black and white and colour. If a customer of yours is wanting a price for a 2 or 3 colour job, and you still want to quote this through your digital press using 4 colour prices, you can tick these options, and then also whether you want to quote for Pantone jobs as well. So 2 and 3 colour Pantone jobs, if you wanted to quote for those using your 4 colour prices, you need to tick those 3 boxes. Duplex here means 2 sides in one pass. If your digital press can do full colour on one side and black and white and reverse in one pass, you would need to tick that option. Some digital printers like to include the paper in the click rate, and some printers can do NCR through their digital presses. And then at the bottom, like the litho options, we have grip and bleed settings. Also for digital presses, the click rates are stored at the bottom of the press setup section. So if we go to full color one-sided, we'll see a table here with 5 rows. So the first row we're looking at run lengths of 1 or more, and we have various options for the click rate which can change with the weight. If we decide to increase the click rate as the paper gets heavier, then we can do that, and likewise we can also decrease the click rate as the run length gets higher. If we want to, we can create more run lengths in our table by just putting in information in the bottom row, and by updating it, that will give us a further option to keep on adding rows. With some digital printers, they like to aggregate the run length for multi-section jobs. So in other words, if you have a job which is, for example, 100 brochures and it's 4 sections, instead of going to the table for 100 run length, it would go to the table which would contain 400 run length, the third row.